I've been looking up thoracic mobility exercises to help me get better at overhead presses and to make my shoulders healthier. I've been doing my foam rolling, I've been doing my peanut exercises using double lacrosse balls, and I'm looking for ways to still improve the thoracic mobility. Shoulder dislocations with a broomstick, with a band or a belt, it's much better than no shoulder mobility exercises overall. But what I learned from the trainer is that shoulder mobility and thoracic mobility are two completely different things. Having great shoulder mobility is much better than having no shoulder mobility at all. Mastering shoulder dislocations is much better than not being able to do it, to do any exercise. So for years I've been doing shoulder dislocations with a broomstick. Every day I would do at least 1 or 2 sets of 10 to 15 reps. And then I'll get my hands a little bit closer. What I didn't realize when I did my first training session a year ago with the trainer was my thoracic mobility was very poor. Even though I can do all this shoulder dislocations, what I didn't realize was I couldn't get my arms to get past my ears every time I tried to raise my hand with a straight elbow and try to get it behind my ear. Now I did this with my elbow as close to my head as possible. If it's like a snatch grip, then that's quite easy for me. The only reason why I'm looking into thoracic mobility now is because I couldn't increase my overhead strength as fast as the rest of my body. My deadlift, my squats go up pretty quick, but my overhead strength never really went up that much. To be able to extend your thoracic spine to press the weight up properly and without arching your lower back. That's how you get your overhead strength much stronger. Having a discussion with the trainer, when a lot of people get shoulder problems or a rotator cuff problem, the first thing they're prescribed is rotator cuff exercises. So doing the internal external rotator cuff, and some people find it's not really helping them that much because it's great to strengthen them, but it's not really fixing the pain. A lot of these people who have rotator cuff issues still have a poor head posture or poor thoracic mobility. If you don't correct thoracic mobility, then your rotator cuff is not getting any benefits of doing any rotator cuff exercises. I remember I saw a YouTube video and they mentioned the best way to correct your shoulder problems is to be able to overhead press properly. So to overhead press properly, you got to have good thoracic mobility. You got to be able to extend your thoracic spine to press the weight up. Before I do any overhead presses, whether it's behind the neck press or overhead press in front of me like a normal person does, I spend more time, or I will start spending more time doing thoracic mobility exercises than doing shoulder dislocations. I'm not going to completely eliminate shoulder dislocations. I will just personally do 1 set and spend like 3 or 4 times more time doing thoracic mobility exercises. Every day I will be doing thoracic mobility as my warm-up. I also do lower back exercises to warm up my lower back directly and to condition my lower back in the event I accidentally put my lower back in a vulnerable position doing any exercise. Although increasing my overhead press is not my main goal, increasing my deadlift is one of my main goals. But as my thoracic strength, if it becomes too tight over time, then I think it's going to affect my deadlifts long term. Because having good thoracic strength in the deadlift is very beneficial too, to prevent injuries. Thoracic mobility is great to have for overall health, for posture, and for any exercise. I know I've seen some guys on YouTube where they round their thoracic spine to deadlift lots of weight. But I don't know how many of you guys are going to be powerlifting or doing strongman competitions. But I would say if you can deadlift properly with a straight back and with great thoracic mobility, it would be great for your back overall. Having great thoracic mobility is great for building up your traps, because one of the functions of pressing the weight overhead is elevating your traps. And elevating your traps while your hand's completely elevated is different than when you're just doing a normal barbell shrug. It will build up your traps differently. And when you do it overhead, it's promoting more thoracic extension, which is beneficial for many people.